Da 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 da! What's my good dear? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Let's see what kind of energy Cindy can bring to the table tonight. In all truth, I'm absolutely amazed because I was in my YouTube analytics, just checking out, my stats and everything on how everything is going, and I'm going, oh my goodness, right? YouTube and Google, they're trying to find a slot for me because I do have like 60% suggested out there. But I tell you, oh my goodness, so many impressions, so many impressions. Now, that doesn't mean those are views. That just means the things that come across your suggestions, right? On your YouTube channel. Oh my goodness, so many impressions, and yet so few. And I'm not saying it like disappointed, but I'm looking at it as an insight for something because we're talking about dreams this week, right? We're talking about dreams, and how can we talk about dreams without talking about this brand that I've been building for the past 10 years, building this brand. I understand. Like, I'm just coming to realization of some of the content that I'm bringing to the table myself. I get it, right? And that idea, right? And it's not an idea, but it's an actual fact of how many times I have pivoted with my brand. And if you go to my main page, you can see I've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at my audience. I truly have. And I smile because for myself, if I go into those videos, I love them, right? Because I get to relive some of those experiences that I had, of those exploring those abandoned farms, those one room schoolhouses, those one room churches, right? It was a most spectacular time in my life. But there is no movement forward for any of us without bringing about change into our lives. And, right, I have been consistently changing since I was this big. And that is a truth. And a lot of it was not by my own will, that I was willing. I probably stuck my heels into the ground, and right, they had to drag me into change. But my parents were both nomads. I went to 11 different elementary schools. And so change was something that I became accustomed to. I thought I was solid in what I was bringing to the table. But there's only so many abandoned farms, right? Abandoned one room schoolhouses, and schoolhouses that are even standing on the ground at all. And I was looking to expand because I loved being a YouTuber, right? My dream at 57 years old, when I started coming onto these platforms, was to be a YouTuber. I love being a part of that community. I love having a voice, right? Now, being seen and being heard, well, that took some getting used to. It truly did, but that's all it was a matter of getting used to. And that was something in my promise to myself of showing up fresh like a loaf of bread, that it's in that patterning, it's in that repetitive showing up, right? That it got that fear or those insecurities or those doubts, right? That lack of belief in myself, to build up a little bit of courage, because you do build a little bit of courage up when you can see that, you're not as sketchy as you used to. Not sketchy, but let's just say skittish. There's a better skittish as you used to, that you're not so afraid to just step forward, right? And, I used to be, and you wouldn't know it by the content, but I was pretty hard on myself. I beat myself up verbally. I would punish myself. I didn't need anybody to punish me, but, I would punish myself when I saw that I wasn't doing well, right? When I'm not doing good, and it would make it so that I would want something fresh. But I was lucky that I got a few lessons under my belt, couple of them, right? Never give up. Never give up. This was my brand. This was something I built myself, and I had no choice but to adapt and conquer. I had to pivot. I had to find another way. And it wasn't to be a superstar, though in the beginning I thought that's what was going to happen. But that feeling is different now, right? This brand is my baby. This brand is my dream. It was a dream that I didn't realize that I wanted, right? And in truth, I'm not sure if I really wanted it. But this dream was something that I needed. It was the most magnificent gift that I could have ever possibly have given to myself, right? Because this brand is mine 100%. If it fails, that's on me. If it succeeds, that's on me. If it just slowly fizzles out, right? That's on me. And if I choose to, as it's fizzling out, and this is the thing, these ideas of never giving up, right? Finding a way, adapting and conquer, pivot, right? No matter what, this brand sticks around, and this brand is me, right? This brand is my story, my journey that I bring to the table. And I am so grateful that I have people out there that are interested in that movement. I'm interested in that movement myself. Believe me, right? So when we go back, and like I said, I came in by the skin of my teeth. It was just like a little nudge, a little miracle that I even noticed. Oh my goodness, I haven't even done my live yet today. Boom, right? And come in right away. But what I was doing at the time when I wasn't here was I was looking at my analytics, and I was totally shocked by how many impressions I actually had in 30 days, 30 days, 28 days, right? 28 days. How many impressions I actually had, and how many impressions I was actually able to scoop up, right? And the first thing I did is, oh my goodness, that's how many you're getting every month. And that's how many are actually coming in and taking a look. And then that's how many are actually staying and watching the video. And I'm thinking, like, I just have to look at that bottom number, right? Because that bottom number is the people who actually come in and watched the content. And you know what? If I was holding a workshop, or if I was giving a talk, if I had that many people who watched my video show up for that talk, how happy I would be, how pleased I would be, how dazzled and amazed I would I would be, and how grateful, because those impressions who actually came in, right? that watched my content, then hung out with me, right? That they're contributing and they're feeding, right? They're feeding my dream. They're allowing this dream to keep moving forward. And you know what? I love that I had that many impressions, but I would like to take a better scoop out of that. So there's some contemplation for me, right? Very short contemplation because I understand it's in that action. But I show up fresh like a loaf of bread, right? Every single day. I don't know how much more I can do than every single day. But what I can do is the quality of the lesson. You know what I mean? I come in here and for the most part, I fly by the seat of the pants, right? I come in here and I'll share the lessons that I've get during the day, those interactions, conversations, and experiences that I have during the day. And because I have the lessons, right? I have that tool belt that I could come in here and we can have a conversation, right? About how many impressions Cindy got, right? And how it surprised her. And then the first thing was to say, oh my goodness, have that high of a number and only that many viewers. And then actually just stop myself in mid sentence and say, oh my goodness, that's absolutely amazing. Because I get some amazing lessons. A lot of them, right, are from the experiences in my life. A lot of them is in that personal work that I do in helping to overcome some of those limiting beliefs, some of that negative programming that I've picked up along the way, right? But a lot of those experiences I wouldn't give up in honest truth. And right, maybe we got a little bit of static, a little bit of the wires got a little bit mixed up. But you know, in this moment, I don't feel any worse for wear, right? Actually, doing pretty good considering, right? If I had waited 10 more minutes, that my brand would have suffered because I would not have been able to come in and say, Cindy shows up fresh like a loaf of bread every single day, right? Because I would have missed it. 10 minutes. I didn't even think of my live show, right? I'm picking up some extra hours at that job that puts the roof over my head in the moment. So, my lives are going to be wacky, but you know, they always have been wacky. And you know, and that's the thing. I'm getting all those impressions, but these are the small details, right? It's like doing a nice thumbnail, right? And then doing the text in those color schemes that I like, and those sky blues and those deep burnt oranges, right? You know, and it's those small details that we do that picks up one or two, right? Extra views. And like I said, a lot of this is just getting that snowball going, getting it down the hill, and where it will pick up its speed and just get bigger and bigger on its own. But maybe it won't, right? Maybe I'll go another 10 years, right? And I'll show up and I will be absolutely blown away by a number of impressions that might be double than what I'm looking at here. And I'm going to have to remind myself, right? That holy cow, if even one of those impressions that actually came in and sat in a little bit of this conversation, I'm not sure about right now, but there's a message in this too. There's a lot of never give up. It's never too late. Adapt and conquer, right? A lot of gratefulness that I made it in, even if it was just 10 minutes. 10 minutes to be able to laugh, to be able to bring that energy to the table, right? When I was just minutes away of washing my face and putting my pajamas on, in all truth. But how would have I felt in the morning? Because I would have realized, right? If I hadn't shown up tonight, I would have realized what I have done. And I'm sure, right, that I would have made up for it in some way, because I do understand that mistakes happen and I have to allow myself to make these missteps on occasion. But I also have to, right, take a look, because this is my brand, this is my baby, this is my dream. So I should be paying attention to those small details. I should be wanting to scoop up one or two more views. And there are ways. I mean, YouTube teaches us in the lessons. And if you guys ever wanted to be a YouTuber yourself, it's not like you're coming in blank and everybody knows how to take your phone and start filming. And that's basically all you have to do, right? Just love what you're doing so that you don't quit, so that, you don't allow yourself to give up on yourself, right? And that's the thing. A lot of people, they come in and they do content, but it's just content to scoop views. It's not content to make an impact. So this is where I'm looking at these impressions. And this is what I'm saying to myself, because this is what I truly do believe, right? My category is not super huge. It's big enough. There's room for me. Guaranteed there's room for me, right? There's room for my perspectives. And there are people that I'm sure that will stand alongside some of those ideas that I have. I came across a gentleman yesterday, so close. Oh my god. And this is what I do, is I search out, people who think like me. I understand I'm a unique. Everybody's a unique, right? I'm never going to find somebody exactly like me, who believes exactly like me, that moves exactly like me, right? But I met somebody. I didn't meet them. I listened to an audio book of theirs, and a lot of how he thinks and presents fit very nicely with me, because he was also non-denominational, right? He wasn't religious, he wasn't spiritual anyway. He was just going by the intellect, by the knowledge that he had picked up along the way, and in sharing the ideas and in these insights and in these experiences that he was having himself. But all of it was based in reality, right? Nothing was based. There was faith, there was belief in there, but there was no religion or spiritual ideas in there. Just pure intellect. And he never mentioned those other aspects in any way either. And I was super, super impressed by that, because, right, I float in those categories only because the people that I listen to are active members. No, that's not active members. Curious humans in those understandings, right? So for the people that I want to help, I'm gonna have to help all kinds, because that's part of my mission statement, that it takes all kinds to make the world, right? And I've got to be able to rub comfortably with people who have different ideas than me, right? Different religious ideas, different political. I never get political ever anyway, but religious ideas. And I'm not confrontational in any way, but you wouldn't know it if you'd seen me at the bus stop tonight. Oh my goodness. I never do that. Never do that. But I think I mirrored somebody pretty good. Kind of scared him. He tried to act tough, but I saw the fear. I said that it wasn't a matter of, right? He tried to scare me. He came and he threatened me, and he tried to scare me. And he triggered me. Right? He triggered me. Okay, he got me. I'm laughing at myself because I'm looking at now. I see the lessons in it, but I see the funny, and I see his eyes bulging out of his head because he thought he was just dealing with a little old lady. He was gonna listen to him beef off, right? And it wasn't the case. Not proud of myself. I'm not proud of myself, right? But I have to laugh. I have to laugh because it's that realization that I am human. It's that realization that if I have to, I can hold my own. And if you're going to force feed me doo doo, right, you're going to get it right back at you. And not in a bad way, but in a good way, right? Where there's something that you can walk away and have something to think about, right? This man was totally out of it, totally out of it. And he went off on me. Oh my goodness, right? And he could have broken my new glasses. One little poke right in the forehead, and that would have been my brand new glasses. So, shame on me for, I'm not going to say, I take that back. 100, I take that back. Oh, 100%, because it is acceptable, right? As long as I catch it right away, as long as there's a lesson in that, right? Definitely there were lessons for me. I'm sure that guy will think twice before he decides to go at the next little old lady. And right, some, and it's that skinny guy on the beach syndrome. He's all scrawny and skinny, and it's the back of the comic books, right? Right, and then he sees the good looking built bodybuilder, and he's got the girls hanging off the arms, right? And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to be the bodybuilder. He was trying to show me who the alpha was. We'll just leave it at that. I got triggered. Let's just say I got triggered. It was perfectly fine. Lessons all the way around. Grateful that I caught the lessons, right? And I do apologize, right? I do understand that, there are lots of things in my childhood that every once in a while, right, it'll slip by, right? And it will bite and it will hurt. And it's in the speed of my recovery, right? And I could have recovered a little bit different, but by the time I was already in it, I'm going to have a good laugh at it because it's not something that happens very often anymore, right? And I'm not thinking that's a good thing because, right, I needed to be triggered. I needed that realization. I needed to recognize, right? Cindy, you're not done yet. You'll never be done. Lessons every single day for the rest of your life. Have at her. Okay, you guys. Little mishmash there, right? But we are on this word dream, and this brand that I have, right? PrairieDodgers. It was my dream. It wasn't a dream that looks anything like I thought it would look like, but I think it's a dream that's going to serve very, very well. It's going to serve me. And more importantly, I think it's going to serve others. So I'm not going to worry about how many impressions I got and how many people actually come in to watch, right? And to listen. Because if I even got one, That's amazing. That's a miracle. That's dazzle and amaze. And that's one for the tool belt, right? Not just for me, right? Because I get these lessons from all kinds of sources. I truly do. And I am a stickler, right? Maybe that's why it's been taking me so long, because I am a stickler, that I want to make sure, right, that I'm feeling everything, because everything is my brand, right? And this brand has to be as genuine and as accurate, right? It's not going to look the same from one day, 1 month, 1 year to the next. But that is, right? And as long as I keep that genuine, right, we're going to allow the ever once in a while hiccup, right, which was a trigger. Nobody is infallible 100%. But did we catch it? Because lots of times, right, I might not have caught that, right? I might have just gotten on the bus and just totally forgot about it in a moment. I'm not beating myself up. I had a little giggle over it. I had my realization over it, right? But we need those, right? Because sometimes we get so high on ourselves. Sometimes we think we're so perfect, or maybe not so perfect, but maybe the way we present ourselves as perfect. And this brand, at the very least, has got to be perfect in its imperfection, meaning it's going to be genuine, it's going to be what it is, right? But at the same time, I'm going to do my very best in those details that might, right? If I do it properly, if I put that effort in, right? If I move towards that, if I apply myself and show up fresh like a loaf of bread, it can't help but happen, right? This is my dream, and however it plays out, it plays out. If it plays out just like this, right to my very last breath, that's the way it's going to go. And I think that was one of the lessons, right, that I was supposed to learn, right? Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer. I'll see each other tomorrow.